Good morning, wild ones and witches. So I'm planning what to do for Imbolc on Sunday. I've pretty much only just got up, so I'm in that clumsy-minded mode. Little paws on the floor is, of course, Siggy and Straubs. I've just tried my Strong Start tea. Do you remember this from Yule? Oh my gosh, it really does taste like a candy cane. I'm just going to show you what it looks like in the cup. I'm just wanting to sort of have a very chilled out Imbolc, if I'm honest with you. I'm going to do a bit of cleansing. I'm going to use a book that my father gave me at Yule time, which is by Tim Spector. It's about fermentation. And I haven't tried this book yet, but I want to make my own sourdough, and I think that's really in keeping with Imbolc. So I might not get as far as making the whole loaf, but I at least want to make like the fermented stages of it. I have taken a trip to the antique store and I've bought something, so I'm going to include those clips and then show you what I've bought so that we can redress my altar. And I want to make a little decoration that I saw in Glastonbury last year to decorate my altar, and I think that's probably going to be it this year. I think the main thing is the cleansing and sort of organising my mind. I'm not feeling so well today, so I think I'm going to feel a bit low in energy for the next few days, and my main focus is really sort of harnessing that energy. I'm hoping I can find some snowdrops as well. Okay, so having done my research, I'm definitely not going to actually make the loaf, not unless I cheated and I bought pre-made sourdough starter, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to make my own starter. So I don't have any flour in the house, so I'm going to go get some rye flour, which does have gluten in it for those who are watching, but I get on better with rye, so I should be okay with it. I'm hoping so anyway. And I'm going to get a container as well. It says have digital scales, and I do have some number dyslexia, but I don't have digital scales. So I'm going to use cups, and I'm going to assume that, you know, back in the day, they didn't have digital scales either. So I think we'll be okay. And yeah, let's go and get the flour and stuff. I'm still not awake. Well, whilst the cauldron bubbles and the potatoes boil, I thought I'd just have a quick break, have a nice cup of tea. I just wanted to do a very cozy Imbolc this year. For some reason I was just feeling, maybe it's the storms. I believe friends in the US, you've had it a lot worse than we have over here, but it's still been very, very wet, very windy. Not uninspiring, I would never say I feel uninspired, but just, you know, sometimes you're just tired of being blown around and, you know, constantly being drenched with rain. And yesterday it was lovely because I went outside and there was no rain and no wind until the evening, and I remembered, oh my goodness, that's what it feels like to be outside. And I'd actually forgotten what it felt like just to go out and not be blown about. So I think I'm just feeling like I want to snuggle into my shawls and curl up with the dogs. The dogs are feeling much the same, and just make some really hearty food. And I think that's perfect really for Imbolc. So the light is coming gradually back in. I am noticing in the evenings that it is lighter. But you know, some of these traditional meals like Colcannon, which is an Irish meal, very much relate to this season and this Sabbath as well. So I hope you enjoy this little segment and, you know, making some hearty food with me and just sort of snuggling up and going a bit slow. The potatoes are done. So the next stage for making the Colcannon after preparing the potatoes to mash is to get some either cabbages and leeks or onions. Certainly you want your cabbage, and then you can choose whether you want leeks or onions. I managed to grab a bargain bag of cabbage and leeks, so I don't get on especially well with loads of leeks, so I'm going to use my leeks sparingly. But what we need to do next is saute, so put in a frying pan, put lots of butter in it. This isn't an unhealthy recipe, not if you're going to cook it traditionally. Butter, onions or leeks and cabbage, and we saute that in the pan, and then we're going to mix that in with the mashed potato. Best to take your shawls off when you're going to saute. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm getting a bit of heat on that pan. I'm going to put a bit of olive oil in my pan, just let that warm through. I'm going to shout at you through this part because I'm battling the sound of the hob. Now apologies, I do have a slightly fluffy kitchen. I always wipe my worktops down every day, but I have dogs, you know, and I'm not a TV chef. I think honestly, if you're a bit witchy, you probably do have animals in the house and you just sort of like live amongst the fur. So I'm going to use my pre-cut leeks and cabbage because I'm cheating, because I saw it was on offer, so I was quite excited about that. And that's all going to go in the pan because it's going to go over otherwise, you know, that's why it's reduced. So yeah, we've genuinely got some leeks in there. And there's some beautiful green cabbage. It looks in pretty good condition. Now I've started this on quite a high heat just to get some flavour into those leeks and the cabbage, but then I'm going to bring it down to a low and add an unhealthy amount of butter. That's just for starters. Just look at that beautiful green colour. So the colours for Imbolc can be red, navy, white and green, and gold. Now I tend to prefer to work with green, white and gold. So I'm just bringing the heat back on that, and I'm going to lower it down. And that big old wad of fat, that's going to go into the cabbage, and we're going to saute that. And it's going to sweat for a bit. Now I'm not great with time limits or quantities, anything to do with numeracy whatsoever. You know, I always go really cooking by the smell of it and also just my instincts. But you know, you can tell by looking at it when it's done. Obviously the cabbage is still pretty crispy, and you do want it to be pretty flaccid. That's what she said. So I've taken my cabbages and my leeks off the heat, and they're just going to sweat a little bit more whilst I tend to my potatoes and give them a good old mash. Ziggy, you looking forward to your mash later? Ziggy mash? Ziggy mash? Oh, I know, happy Imbolc zigs. Now I don't want to take too long, and that's because I have got my leeks and my cabbage over there. So really what I want to do is I just want to mash this quickly so that I can prepare it for the dogs. Yeah, you know, I'm a dog mom. What can I say? I like to look after my animal companions. Are you lucky? Are you lucky? You lucky, Ziggy? Yeah. Okay, so I've separated the potatoes, the little tub for the doggos later. It's actually quite a bit, isn't it? But Ziggy is a rather large, small dog, if that makes sense. And he likes his mash, so I can never be stingy. So I've got probably less mash than what you will have if you're not giving it to your dogs. So this is almost ready. I'm now going to put a wodge of butter in. Magical wodge, in it goes. Now that will melt in because the potato is still warm, and that's key part to making mashed potato in my opinion. Alright, I'm not going to do too much of this. I'm going to put a little bit of salt, but there's already salt in my butter. Okay, I'm not putting loads in, it's not good for me, I know, but this is not a healthy meal. This is about flavour and comfort. So I'm going to put the mashed potato in with the cabbages and the leeks. Now I'm also going to add a bit of milk to the cabbage, not a lot, just a bit, like so. I'm going to move that around so it's creamy. I use oat milk so it's quite creamy anyway, and then the mashed potato goes in. Mush it about a bit. Now this is a traditional Irish dish. I'm sure they also made it in the rest of the UK as well, to be honest, because, you know, potatoes, greens, it's probably something that a lot of people made. But it's a very old traditional dish. You can have it with anything you like, really, but normally it's eaten with meat, I think, traditionally. Now, more like your red meats and things. I've had it in pubs where you'd have a Colcannon with you know, like lamb in a red wine sauce or something like that with it, or lamb in a red currant jelly, or a red currant sauce with Colcannon on the side. You make it to the consistency you like the best, but really it's supposed to be quite creamy. Now I feel I've achieved this. See how that's pretty creamy. Traditional Irish Colcannon mash. I'm actually going to have this for my dinner tonight, but you have to sample it, don't you? I've seen people on YouTube cook stuff and they all have to go but actually this really is Sorry, you're seeing my gob. So I'm going to try and make the sourdough starter. So I don't have any digital scales. I'm just going to need to do this using cups and basically have like 1 cup of water and 1 cup of flour. Okay, so gently I'm putting this into the jar. And I'm being careful to try to get that as accurate as possible. So my understanding for this recipe is that accuracy is really important. So I'm now going to get 1 cup of water. So give it a good stir. This is looking as it's supposed to. It's very satisfying. I like the consistency. I'm going to close the jar and secure it. And there we have it. Now my understanding is that it just sits there doing its thing for a day, and then I will remove, I think it's at least half of the contents, and then do the same thing again. So it'll be like half a cup of flour, half a cup of water, stir it up, leave it for a day, and do that for 10 days before it's ready to be added to my sourdough recipe. This is a recipe that definitely takes patience. Amazingly, the sun has actually come out, so I'm taking Strawberry Dog for a walk, and we'll see if we can find some bulrushes. So sweet. It's a little silver birch. A strawberry, you like it too? Yeah. So pretty. Look at that, those little pink berries. Robin. Oh wow, look at all these. I think the rain's coming again. This was a playground. I have never seen so much water here. Wow, look at the flooding. That's it. That's it. Go on, go on. That's it, that's it. Good girl. Was that fun? Yeah, well done. And the rain is definitely coming again, so we're going to go home, make a fruit crumble. I'm going to make something for the apothecary as well, so I was thinking of using some birch branches from the garden. I've got these lovely apples that I need to use up, and I think I'm going to put some raspberries in. I'm going to have like an apple and raspberry crumble. Ziggy is interested. You're not having any. You've got mash later. So the first thing I'm going to do is chop up about 1.5 apples to put in this tiny ramekin dish, which is just for me. So it's just going to be a little tiny crumble for one. Now to make it sweet, instead of adding sugar, I'm going to add some honey. And it does need quite a good swidge through. And then I'm going to give that a little stir. I love this spoon. It says my oat milk frees all the cows from the yard. So I'm going to give it a stir. Gosh, these raspberries are delicious. What was I doing? Oh yeah. Okay, so this is ideal because it's got all the juices starting to appear and I can smell it. You know, you can just smell when it's nearly done. So I need to put the crumbly topping on in a moment. I'm going to give it a stir carefully so none of this spatters on me because it is very hot. Now you do want to do this bit carefully and not with your fingers because the contents are like lava, the fruit's like lava at the moment. It's very, very hot. Love that gorgeous colour. It smells beautiful. It just smells of wild raspberries. It is lava hot, but I'm going to just test it and then leave the rest for after my dinner as a pudding. But that's the sort of consistency you're looking for. So it's no longer fruity, it's like a jamminess with the crust on the top that's golden brown. Yeah, it's lovely. It's very nostalgic. My mum used to make this. Although not with the raspberries, but she used to put blackberries in. So I think when you make something yourself, you feel more gratitude. And I think that's such an important feeling this time of year. Okay, I might not wait until after dinner. This is perfect when you've been out in the storms and you come back and you just want something warm. So I hope you're having a wonderful Imbolc, whatever you're doing, whether that be something fancy or something everyday like me. I'm so grateful that the light is coming back. I've missed it this year. You know, some years you really enjoy Yule and hibernating. I enjoyed it for about a week and then I just missed the lovely spring weather. I'm looking forward to seeing the daffodils again. Let me know in the comments what you're hoping to grow this year, you know, this spring. It's such a good time to plant seeds right now, whether those be literal seeds in your garden or, you know, seeds of creativity, of new relationships, of new projects. I feel like I must have a raspberry moustache. Yeah, it's nearly gone. Good morning, wild ones and witches. So I'm using up my leftover Colcannon mash and I'm going to make hash browns this morning. I'm just watching it fry in the pan as I'm talking to you, so I'm multitasking. But basically I just put a little bit of flour on the top after putting the heated oil in the pan, and that's just so it doesn't stick again. I add it to the pan and just keep flipping it. And it doesn't need to look beautiful. It's definitely not one of those kinds of dishes. This is a hearty start to your day, and I'm going to crack a fried egg into it and enjoy that before I dress my altar, which I'm so excited about.
Protect me from burning flames. Noble flower and reliever, release this pain.
I never said it was health food. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if my birch tree branch has dried out fully. I don't know if I can use a hairdryer on it, if not, but possibly. But the idea is that it's really dry, and then I'm going to decorate it, and then that's going to hang at the front of the apothecary. And I was inspired by a lady's shop in Glastonbury. If I can find the old image, I'll insert it here. But they allowed me to film in the shop, which was lovely of them. I just loved how she had decorated all of the antique furniture and all of the displays, and I thought that would be lovely to do for a Sabbath, and I think it's perfect for Imbolc. Hello. I can hang her from the altar. So you don't have to make everything perfectly, you can stylize it using what you have. I use some little older cones as well, just to keep my Ogham theme, my Celtic theme. Good morning, wild ones and witches. I hope you slept well last night. It is now Thursday and tomorrow is my posting day because I want to get my Imbolc video up for you so that you can enjoy it over the weekend and relax and have a lovely Imbolc. I was especially thinking of people who might be on their own, so I hope that it does give you like a happy Imbolc feeling or a cozy Imbolc feeling. Sorry about the length, I've done my editing mostly yesterday, so there's only today's bit to edit and add in now. And even though I'm trying to reduce the length, it seemed to just still be the same. I know that you don't have lots of time to watch, but I think I'm just old-fashioned and I just used to love watching, you know, an episode on the telly for an hour with my parents, or we'd, you know, wait and we'd watch X-Files or something at 9 o'clock, and you know, that was a real treat. And I don't know, I think I'm just a long form kind of a gal. So Ziggy and I had a very strange night last night because I've got two dogs and Strawberry gets put in her house and there's a little bolt, and Ziggy's normally in his house but he was a bit too clingy. So I let him stay on the bed, he was so comfy last night. And normally he snores, but he was very good. So we were both zonked out, and then all of a sudden I hear voices in the flat, and I realised the TV's come on in the other room. So I got up, sure enough, Strawberry's still in her house. Ziggy was obviously right next to me in the bed. He was zonked out, he was like, what's going on? And yeah, the TV's come on by itself. Now this is about 4:30 in the morning. I was like very confused and addled, and it was the movie Suspect with Cher on it. So I wander into the living room and there's Cher on the TV, and my understanding is this is like a it's like a conspiracy movie where I think somebody gets wrongly convicted, like Liam Neeson or Dennis Quaid or somebody, because I think they're in it too, and then Cher is like their lawyer or something. So I know when this happens, you're supposed to pay attention to the lines that are being said in the movie in case it's sort of like synchronistically important, or you've got a ghost trying to tell you something. But I was so kind of addled and befuddled that I didn't, and it was on like the Freeview channels, so it was, you know, actual scheduled programming. So when I tried to just see what time it was in the movie, it didn't give me that information. So I've downloaded the movie. I managed to work out, you know, a key scene that I saw and sort of when the timing would have been of when I saw the scene when I first got up and when it first came on. So I think I'm going to try and work out what it is that Cher's actually saying. I probably won't include that in this video, but it was just really bizarre. I finally managed to get back to sleep, but I kept waking up. I was having nightmares last night before that happened anyway, that there was like a dark presence standing over me, like a dark witchy kind of vibe, which is normally my vibe, so you know, but it was like quite ominous, like watching a horror movie. So then the TV comes on, then I go back to sleep, and then I wake up this morning and I look at my phone and my friend has messaged me, and he doesn't know anything about any of this. I didn't tell him about the TV, and he said, I hope you don't mind me saying, this is a bit weird, but I had a dream about you last night. And they're not of the same belief system as me. They're open-minded about my beliefs, but you know, we don't have anything in common about that. That's not where our friendship kind of meets. So anyway, he says, I had this dream about you and I was walking on a beach and you were there in front of me, but you're stood on a big boulder and you're pointing out to sea and you're trying to get me to look at something, but I can't hear you and I can't see what it is that you're looking at. And I just thought that's so weird. So I messaged back, I said, this is strange because this is what happened to me in the middle of the night with the TV coming on. And the other sort of strange thing is I was watching Netflix last night and Mermaids, the movie with Cher in it, was recommended to me, and I've never watched a Cher movie. And I thought, oh, I might watch that. It looks a bit sort of light-hearted. and retro, but it was a bit late, so I thought, well, I won't watch that. So I went to sleep, and then on the scheduled programming, when the TV turns on, it was a Cher movie. So do I have like an ancestral ghost, or does Brigid, since I put the Brigid doll up and invoked Brigid, does Brigid really like Cher movies or something? I don't know, but it was really bizarre. I'm joking, obviously, but yeah, I was like, oh, do I have a ghost that really was disappointed I didn't watch Mermaids and just decided to put Cher on in the middle of the night anyway? Anyway, so after waking up, the last thing to do today is to make some candles, because I'm going to show you what I bought at the antique store. So I did a tarot reading for myself the other day, and I just saw the image of snakes in my head, and then when I went to the antique store I saw these. I just think they're fantastic. I think these are antique Indian brass snake candle holders, but the thing about them is they've got really tiny circumference across here, so the candles I have don't fit, so I need to make some candles for my altar for Imbolc to go in these. Bizarrely, when I saw these, I didn't buy anything on the day that I actually filmed those videos. I came home and I thought about it, because I quite like the pentagram, but I thought, I don't know if I want a pentagram that someone else has pre-owned and I don't know them, in case it carries sort of some sort of negative energy with it. I really thought about that. And then my glass candlestick just fell off the window ledge and smashed. And it wasn't going to be something I could fix, because it would be dangerous, you know, with the flame and everything. So I thought, oh, now I feel like I can go and get these. So I finished setting up the altar. I'm going to light it all in a moment and find a candle for this middle one, and then turn all the lights off so that you can see it properly. But I just wanted to explain some of the things I have. So first of all, we have the snakes, which are the symbols of birth and rebirth, and like the Ouroboros. I've made my candles, which is very much in keeping with this time of year and a way to make an offering for the goddess Brigid. I've used the colours of yellow, white and green. I've got my little ancestral altar here on the side. I've got my Brigid doll here. Obviously I've got all my apothecary items anyway, but I have chosen to focus much more on quartz, and I like this one because it looks like a little heart. And I put that in the centre, and then I've got, you know, mainly quartz in the background. Got some green calcite as well because I just thought the colour was lovely. I put some honey out for Brigid, a shell for her, I believe she likes shells, some ivy from the garden that I picked, that's on top of my pentagram, and so this is like an offerings dish. I also made a solar cross. So rather than a Brigid's cross this year, I made a solar cross. That's for sort of personal magical practice reasons that I won't go into, but I've hung it above my window for protection. And I used ivy, florist's wire, and I used, let's see if I can get closer. I used ash and birch. It's traditional to use ash. I was getting the ash tree a lot in my Ogham cards, but I also wanted to use birch, and the ash tree was actually felled, so this is a very important piece of ash. Next week on Wild Wish, I am so excited to finally be bringing you both my short form and long form Ogham series. The next long form chapter brings you some history of the ancient Celtic tree language of Ogham and ways to incorporate this into your divination. Meanwhile, my daily short series will show you one Ogham letter per day so that you can learn along with me and make your own oracle deck if you wish to. With the stormy weather, I hope this might offer you a safe and magical thing to do at home. There will be a Wild Wish Shorts going out every day for 20 days, explaining each card in little bite-sized chunks, with most videos being 2 to 3 minutes long. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. If you'd like to support me further, then please do check out my Patreon. So whatever your wish this spring, I hope that your Imbolc is magical, even if like mine, it is everyday and simple. So see you next week, Wild One. Thank you for watching, like if you like, and subscribe if you vibe.